Alright everybody, welcome back to making this pixel art game. Last time we left off, we were making alien ships, so I guess that's where we're going to pick up today. This is all the stuff that we currently have for our assets, and I think we need probably 2 more enemies. So let's see what we can do. We have our stealth fighter, we have our beetle, maybe we're going to call that. These are the blinking ships. You know, that one's based on the ones that we see in our skies from time to time, or videos of. We don't know what they are, but we've seen them. There's videos out there of them, you know. Anybody who goes down that rabbit hole knows exactly what I'm talking about. Let me see here. This one, I feel like there's not enough detail for that to be much of anything. So let's go ahead and put our symmetry tool on and see if we can add something to this. Makes it a little bit cooler. To me it kind of looks like a skull, maybe? Not sure. Yeah, it does kind of look like a skull. So maybe something like that. See if we can add a little bit of a dimension here by adding a brighter color in. That off. See how it looks from far away. Not really feeling that. Suppose it doesn't have to be perfect right now because we're still have yet to make the game, but I really don't want to have to go back and adjust the assets later. Maybe something like that. I really don't know. Maybe we can try to use this outline color and make give it like multi-layers, kind of like a starship. And then since we're using this red to define our guns, maybe something like that. Okay, yeah, that looks a little bit better, I think. Call it the tank. Yeah, I think I like that. Yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. I do kind of like that brightness being somewhere on this. I want it to be subtle, though. I don't want all of them to have it. Yeah, I guess I want them to have it, but I want it to be subtle. I don't want it to be, like, stick out like a sore thumb. But, yeah. So we got the stealth ship, the beetle, the trilite, and the tank. How about that? I could even give them different stats in the game, too, if we wanted to. But, we'll see. We'll see where we go with this. Let's see, 2 more enemies. I feel like we don't have a basic enemy. Like something really simple. Kind of like we have the gray ship for the player, you know? Like as the starting ship, I kind of want something like that, but for the enemy equivalent. So we'll go ahead and use this outline color again. We come right here, turn our symmetry tool back on because you definitely want them to be symmetrical. Make sure I get it in the center. There we go. Now, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? Maybe like a ball? Yeah, because this started as a half circle. Like a drone, maybe. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. We'll go with a drone type look. I want it to be kind of small though. So let's make the circle and then recenter that. Let's turn on the symmetry tool to make sure that we get it in the center. Ah, okay, that's not gonna work because it doesn't have a center. Alright, so let's redraw this. And the thing that's kind of bad about Sprite with this is you have to get it right the first time. Which, there we go. When you're drawing it out, because if you don't, you cannot readjust the size. I guess you could resize it in the game engine, but you can't do it in Sprite. It'll break the mesh. This is not dead center. Nope. It has 3 tiles in the center, so we need to cut this down. I'll show you how to do that real quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this top half, we're just going to highlight it, and we're just going to move it down. And then this will give us our symmetry in the center, or it should. Yeah. So there's our symmetry in the center. There's our symmetry on the top. Alright. So let's kind of make this one look... It's going to be like a drone. For some reason, I was thinking gold. Like a golden color to it. Let's see how that looks. Alright, now we got to give it the shadow. Not really a whole lot of depth there. Man, that looks like one of our power-up bombs, honestly. Kind of looks like that. We can fix that, though. We can give the drone weaponry. And I don't want it to... I always want the guns faced toward where the player's going to be. So, we'll do that, and then we'll give it the highlight. Looks really bright. I don't know why that doesn't look good in my mind. Like, I want to make it look like it's made of metal. So let's get rid of this. Let's take off the symmetry tool. And let's give it some glare. The glare's coming from the front. So, maybe something like that. Just doesn't look good in my mind. Let's try a different color scheme then. And we'll pick the super dark color for the shadow, and then we'll pick the brighter gray for the sheen. Yeah, that looks kind of, let's remove these little wings. Yeah, that looks more like a drone. Definitely. So we'll leave that one like that. That'll be our drone. So... Ooh, I know. That actually gives me a great idea. I'm going to go ahead and take this color, and we're going to make a fly. I don't know why that just came to mind, but I really want to fly. Or something resembling a fly. I don't know. Strange, but it just came to me. Do that. Make this a little bit bigger. Take the red that we've been using for the guns. We're going to make the eyes. And then... kind of want to make the silhouette first, and then we'll go back with the... whatever color scheme that we're going to use. It's got to look like a ship, but at the same time, I want it to look like a fly. Actually, let me look up the picture of a fly, so we can kind of see how the shape looks. I definitely want it to come across like screaming fly. So, we got that. Like that. This kind of comes under the wings, and the wings kind of come back up. So they're definitely more of an angle than a straight line with both of these. So we're gonna have like this. And all I did for this is I just pulled up a image on Google of a fly real quick, and I'm looking at what an actual fly looks like, to kind of help with this imagery, because looking at other people's pixel art when you don't know how to do something in pixel art will help tremendously, but once you kind of get the basics down for what pixel art should be or should look like, it helps to just go ahead and look up actual real life things and then try to turn them into pixel art. And what this does is it kind of gets your brain to see things in real life as pixel art. It's very strange. It's a very strange feeling when you sit down and think about it. But once your brain kind of starts seeing things in pixel art, like stop signs and roads and things like that, like how would you make a car in pixel art? What dimension? What pixel density? That sort of thing. it'll you'll start seeing a lot of other things in pixel art, and you'll be able to get better that way. And even come up with crazy things, like you're looking at like an alligator or something, and you're trying to figure out how to turn that into pixel art. You just point out what the most important parts of the alligator are to get the image across that, hey, this is an alligator. I think that's the most important thing about pixel art, is making sure you're getting your point across with the silhouette. You know, that right there looks like a fly. Like, I just straight up, that right there looks like a fly. But the rest of these are colorful in that way. And, I mean, that would work. But the wings would be transparent. You'd see the stars through the wings. If they pass through it, it'll throw the player off. If you want that aesthetic, if you want to go for that, great. It might work out for you. I think if the player's watching a parallax background and that parallax background starts going through the things that they're seeing, I think it'll really throw people off. But even that right there, that's fine. And the bad thing is, you don't really want to use the outline color that you use for the entire thing. You kind of want that to stay to the outline. So even though I like the dark color on this, and it definitely gets the point across, I need to have that outline because I need the cohesion between my other ships and this one. If that cohesion isn't there, sometimes, not all the time, it'll stick out like a sore thumb. But this is where you go back in and you just replace the outline color with other colors that make sense. So if you look at a fly, it's kind of got this carapace on its back that the wings are connected through. On a real fly, it cuts off about here, but I kind of extended that out to keep the mechanical look to it. I mean, hey, actually, I think I might leave that there, just like that. There we go. Ah, that's a bit much. I'll just leave the line there. There we go. I think that looks fine. Let's look at what we're using here. So that's the body color. We kind of want a little bit of shadow around here. Like I said, cohesion. And you want to try to restrain yourself to whatever color palette you're trying to use. Don't expand the color palette unless you absolutely need to. And that will also help with cohesion. Usually when I'm using a color palette, or after I pick a color palette, I don't typically change anything in the color palette unless I'm using what you saw in an earlier video. I use hue, saturation, and value to add either a darker or lighter version of a color that already exists in the palette. I did that with these purples, so that way I could have more stuff to play with, so I could make animations, you know, for these different things. You know, I didn't change any shapes or anything. I just changed the colors generally that they were using. Small visual aids like that really help get your point across. I'm going to change this music real quick, though. Alright. Let's see where we're at. So we just modified this enemy and modified these two enemies right here. And I hope I explained what I was doing okay in here and why I was doing things that I was doing. But ultimately, you just want to have same color palette, same visual aids, so both the players and the enemies have an outline. The corresponding bullets don't change through their entire upgrades. So like the red bullet, you have red all the way through up to the beam. With the bomb, you have purple all the way up. So that's this way, whenever the player connects 3 to 5 of these orbs together, they know exactly what bullet's going to come out and what they're going to get. So this way they can create strategies and get their hands on certain power-ups, whatever they want to actually do, and how they actually want to play their level. And what this does is gives the player some autonomy over the game. Since they can't control the player, they can't control where the bullets go, they can't control the enemies. All they can control is the matching. So they can line up certain matches that they want to hit at a certain time to take out certain enemies. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. I think what I'm going to do next video is I'm gonna give us a boss. I'm thinking of a giant eye, but we just went ahead and did those 3 enemies, and I guess I'll stop here since we're 22 minutes in. Hope you guys have found some value in this. If you did, like and subscribe, and I'll keep on making these videos. Thanks for coming.